This is the Eskwilax hour, where we bring you art, music, everything creative. Today, we're in a new episode in beautiful Long Beach, season 16. I'm Efrain, and today we are with Efren.
Hey, what's going on? This is Efren Luna, right here, local artist, Long Beach, California.
Yeah, he's been knowing him for a while now. I think for more than a decade, right? I mean, we know each other.
Yep. 2008. So, yep,
It's been
about 12, maybe 14 years.
But definitely, it's been knowing you is like opened my eyes to a lot of the art because Efren's art advocate from Long Beach now, and from AMC, right? Art, music, culture.
Right. Art, music, and culture. That's what I represent. Trying to promote the arts, the cultural arts, creative arts, and everywhere. I'm from Long Beach, so that's where where I'm from. That's where I'm based. But I go anywhere, Mexico, LA, cuando se pueda.
Yeah,
You
cuando
know?
se pueda.
Donde se pueda, anywhere where there's a place, that we can do this,
Of course, yeah, I still remember those days. I was watching the last interview we had. That one was episode 41. That's the one when we brought you on. That one was in like full on Spanish. I remember.
Yeah, we just got carried away, like platicando. Y puro español, huh? Yeah.
Yeah, but it was interesting how I was talking to you right now earlier before this that we just kind of like went on and we were talking about the projects you were up to and how we had met throughout the years, but I didn't really pick at like who you were as a Long Beach native, and
Right.
that's kind of where I wanted to touch base today. We're like, you said you grew up in Long Beach, but right now you were telling me you grew up in that area where the center is at.
Yeah. So where I saw you last time, it was it's a space. It's called Latinos in Action, California. It's on Pine Avenue and 14th Street. And I used to live on Pine Avenue and Chestnut between Cedar. So it's basically 2 blocks away. So it's like a 5-minute walk. And this year, this nonprofit que se llama Latinos in Action California, it opened up right there, and I was invited to be part of that. They focus on a lot of things broader than the arts. They do a lot of arts advocacy, a lot of culture, education, for the community, for Latinos in general, for anybody, but they focus on uplifting the Latino community. And one of the things that caught my attention was that they're actually advocating for a community center in that area. So that place is not technically their community center. It's an office space, but they use it as a place for people to do things. But the big goal is que hagan un centro cultural ahí, porque en esa área there's no cultural center in that area. That area for many years has been like neglected, mainly from the politicians, right? Because they're the ones that decide what they're gonna build, like a community center or so. En esa área no hay I don't want to say there's like just negative stuff. I mean, there's a lot of working people there.
And how was it like growing up there? Do you remember?
Yeah. Okay.
Has it gotten better right now? A little
Okay.
bit?
So I guess yes and no, right? So when I was a teenager back in the 90s, ahí estaba en esa área. Y en los 90s, it was gang violence, and it was all through LA. Estaba pesado ahí. In that area was like one of the main places, and me just not being part of that, but living there, growing up there, you were caught in the crossfire, so to speak. For me, the arts gave me an outlet, to focus on something positive. And I've always felt like there could have been more people, que escogieron el arte because it was an option, but that option hasn't been there in that area, and that's.
And did you go to high school in that area?
Yeah. So a little bit about me, right? So I was born in Mexico, Zacatecas. Yo nací. I was born in el rancho.
Yeah.
En una casa de adobe con la partera. So that's where I'm from 100%.
Yeah.
Y de morrillo, every year my dad and my mom would bring us to Long Beach. Un año para Long Beach, un año para el rancho. Y así back and forth. up until when I was like maybe 10 or so. Then
Yeah.
we stayed in Long Beach, and that's that area where that's where I grew up. I went to elementary, middle school. There's a middle school right in that area too. Y luego high school, luego City College, y luego Cal State Long Beach, todo in Long Beach. So as you can see, like I wanted to like represent Long Beach, like because that's like a place that because honestly, like a lot of people don't admit this, pero cuando viene uno de México, a veces no es porque some people vienen de turistas, pero that's very rare. Most of us, our families come for like a better, opportunity, and that's our story con nuestra familia. So when we came to Long Beach, this became home, like because, growing up, in that area with our friends and family, and now that I'm older and I was able to succeed in the arts, visual arts, ¿verdad? And there's this organization that's advocating for a cultural center for youth. When I was invited to be part of that, I was like, sign me up, en qué puedo ayudar,
Because it's right there where you grew up, like you're saying,
Yeah, and
part of the solution.
So when you ask me if things are, how is it different, or lo único diferente es de que me as an older person now, like an adult, I don't go through the same struggles as a teenager, right? For example, yo manejo. Well, like a lot of adults that we work, trabajamos. We get on our car, we go from point A to point B, and we forget that the youth, ellos caminan, agarran el bus, so they're gonna be encountered by those forces, and some of them are gonna be drawn to that, and some of them are not. Pero so that's one of the things that no ha cambiado pero este centro le va a dar una chance a muchos morros de que hay una oportunidad, so that's I'm very proud of that. No lo han hecho el centro, pero there's a lot of talk that this is gonna happen, but politics is such a weird place. It takes forever, and I think it may not be right away, pero at least we're on the radar for amongst the politicians, the local politicians. They know this is what we're advocating for. Entonces nos tienen que poner atención one way or the other. We just gotta keep strong y no bajar la lucha, porque I mean, I could be like, I don't, ya no me afecta eso a mí, but there's other youth,
Oh yeah, no, it's never like that. It's especially people like who advocate and people who want to help and want to be part of the solution. Pues you never stop.
Y me imagino como and not this story is probably very similar to like a lot of inner city experienced people, growing up in el barrio, de que there's all these negative influences, and maybe si no te llega the right influence, maybe you get you get sucked into something that may change your life, negatively. So we're trying to counterbalance that, con la cultura, el arte, la música. Ahí también enseño clases de música, and I do it for free. I do it once a month for 2 hours. I'm trying to do it more often, pero with work and everything is difficult.
Yeah.
Pero les enseñamos guitar, keyboard, piano, and it's first come first serve. So for all ages, adults, seniors. También enseñamos clases de baile, de multicultural dance.
And they have different teachers for that, or you teach all of them?
Yeah, no. So there's different. So we're all volunteers, right?
Yeah.
So the teachers, like unos enseñan costura, cake making, healthy cooking, and business entrepreneur, open studio. There's so many things going on in that little space. That I can't wait for the actual cultural center to open up, para hacerlo reach more people, so it's many different people, but so yo soy miembro de Latinos in Action California. As of this year, officially, it became a board member there.
Okay.
And my contribution is teaching the music classes and also helping with other things there. Pero along with that, I'm also since 2012 I've been part of the Cultural Alliance of Long Beach. It's a nonprofit it was founded in Long Beach for like-minded people, like creative folks,
Yes.
And right now we're like, I don't know, 12 years,
Wow.
and entonces, I that organization focuses on the visual arts.
Yeah.
Entonces, it resonated with me, because like when we first met, I was already doing this, the
Yeah, I
advocating for the
remember.
arts, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Los art shows, multimedia, different, and I was already doing that.
Yeah, you're very active. Yeah, all over Long Beach.
Y te acuerdas que lo hicimos en Hollywood and Whittier and
Oh yeah,
LA.
yeah. Yeah, you're right.
Entonces, that's the same mission, right? So when I heard about the Cultural Alliance of Long Beach that was going to be formed, I was like, you know what? Let me join, because sometimes we can join people so we can have a greater impact, more joint forces, so to speak,
Of course.
Y es lo que pasó. Entonces, little by little, a lot of the people that were first part of the nonprofit, the Cultural Alliance of Long Beach, they kind of, not moved on in life with other projects, and being a few core people, we stayed. Y ahorita soy el presidente de ahí. Entonces, one of the things that my mission or our mission is to continue, to advocate for the artists, the Long Beach community. Entonces, by partnering, in a way, we're partnering with the Latinos in Action, because they're giving us a space to host our classes, right? And then entonces, so Latinos in Action focuses on a broader range of things like advocacy, education, things like that. But within that, the arts fall in because they're part of education,
Yeah.
Entonces es donde entramos nosotros, and that's one of the things that and trying to keep the foundation, the cultural, the Cultural Alliance of Long Beach alive is it's not like a business, right? Like where you just make profit and you can just keep going.
Yeah.
This one is like we're all volunteers, so
there's a bigger mission to it.
and we just gotta keep the energy. Like it's such a lot of work, but the best part is that it's a passion type of work. So
Yeah.
so that's some of the things that I'm involved in.
No, I've always followed you online and like always kept up on like your the different articles that you've been in, and like just knowing that you're out here doing all the footwork still, and always in it for, like you say, for passion. I've always admired that about you, man. You're always like in there, even like you said, you got like work and then you got other things going on, but you've always advocated for the arts.
Yeah, and like it is a passion, porque cuando estaba morro, like I told you earlier, I grew up in an area where the bad influences were right there outside the door. So
Yeah.
the art saved me, and I say this like honestly, like the art saved me from bad decisions,
Of course.
So I feel like I was just fortunate that that I had great art teachers in high school, like even if it was just one class, and it changed your life. And I was used to draw, and like people would say, "Oh, that's cool,"
Do you remember your first teacher? Or
First art teacher,
elementary? Or?
well, actually, there weren't no hay muchos art programs in school. At least then,
Yeah.
like my first like art class was actually in high school, and it was like maybe como in the 10th grade, maybe 11th grade. But but for me, I always pursued like drawing. Like I remember que cuando se murió Selena, right? Se murió o la mataron. Vendían like memorabilia en LA, en los callejones, Entonces, me acuerdo que compré un tape for my sister. She was a fan, y le compré un tape, and then the cover, it was like tiene como black and white outfit and things like that.
Yeah.
Y yo lo dibujé. Just I did my best. Now looking back, like salió todo chueco, pero pero lo dibujé before any art training. Y se lo di a my sister, and I, or I don't know if I gave it to her, but I was kind of really proud of it, and I was like, man, this is not that difficult. You just copy little area by little area, copy the shades and the darks and the lights, and just try to be as so como que me llamaba eso la atención, pero the thing is this, like I was fortunate que me llamó eso la atención, whereas a youth, un teenager, le puede llamar la atención following the steps of an older brother,
Yeah.
that may not be the positive one. Entonces, estos centros are going to be like, this was going to save our people, porque ya van a abrir más cárceles, porque,
Oh, yeah,
porque
yeah, yeah.
el political system ahorita está así de que es business, es capitalism, aquí se hace business de todo, so, um, they're going to open up more prisons and, who's going to be in them,
Pues sí.
entonces no queremos,
Que
at
andan en
least that's
malos
how I see it,
pasos, yeah.
alguien puede decir, oh, sí, son para los que se portan mal, okay, pero at the same time, like, a lot of, like, working families, por ejemplo, the rent is so expensive, so they got to work 2 jobs. They got to work 2
Yeah.
jobs, maybe 3 jobs. Si es una couple, los dos tienen que trabajar. Entonces, I remember this from growing up, that I grew up with my aunt and uncle, and they had to go to work, and we're all a bunch of morrillos, like, like with nobody watching us, so we're out in the street, like, jugando, sometimes, doing things que no deberías,
Yeah.
entonces, pero if they had the funding, they, okay, put them in a music class. ¿Sabes cuánto cuesta una music class? Ahorita
Yeah.
en Guitar Center, como over $100.
Yeah, we don't.
Who. So these are, an example de que our community needs more resources, and people like us, we can contribute, by advocating, volunteering,
Of course.
Anyways, so much, so much.
That's a lot. Yeah, no,
So
no.
much.
There's work to do. There's work to do. Just, we can't stop.
Yeah, absolutely. Como te digo, that's one of the passions, and I was thinking, like, when you asked me, like, si para esta entrevista, I was
Yeah.
like, well, ya no he hecho arte lately, but I'm like, what's going on, and then I started thinking, well, I did during the pandemic. I made art that was live stream, and that art was more like for the people at home to follow, and it has a purpose, so then I realized, like I do make art, pero cada que lo hago, it has to have an impact, like either for me or for, like, greater, no
Yeah.
nomás porque, oh, mira, voy a hacer esto porque es el team, and and I'm not saying that's like, everyone can do whatever their passion is, pero me personally, like, I noticed de que I put my energy into passionate things. Y when I made the art, I made it step by step. It's on YouTube. You can check it out. It's like 2 hours, 3 hours, and it's like, it's not edited where, like, those
Yeah,
videos
yeah, of course.
que lo ponen como fast y se ve chido because it's pleasing to watch. No, this one's like a whole class. You can actually watch it.
Yeah.
Y lo va siguiendo someone that, and it's geared towards people que nunca pintaron. Y una gente sí me mandaba mensajes, oh, gracias.
Helpful.
Me mandaban los fotos, and that's one example. I'm like, okay, I am making art. I am making art, but I just gotta wait for me. It's like it has to have an impact. No, money is like, si quisiera hacer dinero, me dedicaba a arreglar air conditioning or something.
Yeah, yeah.
Pero this is a passion, and you make it work. You make it work. You make it work. By doing other things and including this in your lifestyle. And there ain't no right way to do it. The arts ain't no right or wrong way to do it. It's just everyone does their own journey.
Yeah. And speaking of journeys, right now it's been our past 15 minutes. We're gonna take a little break, and they're gonna continue. I know you want to share all the
good stuff.
all the good stuff, but we'll be back in a few minutes. Okay.
All right.
Thank you again for being here with us. All right, everyone. Welcome back to this episode of the Eskwilax Hour. I'm your host, Efrain Martinez. Today I'm here with Efren Luna in beautiful Long Beach. And the first half, he was just towards the end, he was telling about how he during COVID, he was doing you're doing like the online art courses, right?
Yeah. So as part of the mission of the Cultural Lives of Long Beach, to have free art classes, because remember nobody could gather, right? It was
yeah, those were some strange times. Yeah.
it's like a movie, right? Like
Yeah.
I tell people like back in the day when they had those tapes, the VHS tapes, y que tenía una wrinkle tape.
Yeah.
This COVID was like one of those wrinkles, now we're, ya se compuso.
That's dope. Yeah, I didn't thought about it like that.
Like,
yeah.
like, but we got passed through it. Like, we survived. Unfortunately, a lot of people didn't, pero we're here and we're grateful. So yeah, those paintings that I did were part of the. So what we do is free art classes, free music classes, free dance classes. Entonces lo que quise hacer es, you know what? Facebook tenía la live feature. Todavía la tiene,
that's
right?
Yeah.
You can go live on Facebook on your phone and things like that. So I just put a phone camera, and then different kind of cameras, and made it where like I'm just painting live. And
Were you at home or
no? Then the studio in the gallery, we
Yeah.
actually have a space that we had for many years. Right now it's a more like operational space more than event space.
Yeah, of course.
Pero ahí no podíamos tener gente because the shutdown.
Yeah.
So my idea was like, okay, let me do it online, and it's still free because people can just follow the stream. And then what's nice is that the video se queda. What's not so nice is you can't really edit, so everything's raw, like live, con
Yeah.
todo error,
Yeah.
el audio, como sea. There's no like editing, there's no post production. Ahí nomás is,
What
go.
it is what it is. Yeah.
Yeah, and I was, man, I think I did like over a year. I think I did como a year and a half or 2 years, puro online.
Wow. That's
for
a lot of episodes.
Yeah. For the drawings, paintings, and the idea was to guide people. So even now, si lo miras, and someone wants to draw, they can just follow those steps.
You
know,
said
like,
it's also on YouTube, no?
yeah, está en YouTube.
What's the name
se,
for that?
se llama free art class, Cultural Alliance of Long Beach. You can just look up Efren Luna, free art class online in ahí sale. So those paintings, they're not like como something that I would paint like for my body of work, right?
Yeah.
So when I display them, like, people don't know the story until we talk about it or, present the story. Pero they're like, oh, this is cool. Like, se miran simplified. Like someone can follow along, and that was the whole idea that someone at home may not. And I always did a disclaimer in the beginning of the class. These classes are for everybody, geared towards the people who never painted in their life.
Yeah, like basic.
Yeah,
beginner.
so I had to like break it down and and explain, and people were actually drawing and painting along from home, and they were sending the photos, and
Oh dang.
yeah, so it was like people were watching, and some people you can still watch it, like tiene views lo que sea, pero what I did lo puse, it was mainly on Facebook. So if you follow the Cultural Alliance of Long Beach, you can go to the pages there, or Art, Music, and Culture on Facebook. You can see the videos there. What I did is there's a feature you can download the video and then upload it to YouTube. But that takes a while.
Yeah.
So I did some of them. I don't think I did all of them. Anyways, but those were the drawings that I did. I'll tell you a short story. There's one of them que está right here in Long Beach. Más para allá hay unas islas, right? Y son unas islas. There's four islands. A lot of people don't know those are man-made islands. They're not natural. They're man-made. Las hicieron para sacar el oil. So they're made so they can extract the oil. And they're named after like 4 astronauts. I think 4 astronauts. I forgot their names, but anyways, there's one of them that I did a painting of. The reason why is because during the COVID, I was parked in the Cherry Avenue beach parking lot down at the bluff. Estaba parqueado. So I was parked, and I was looking at the beach, right? And this is during the shutdown, right? So I see this man and his little daughter, and they have a trash bag, or just like a regular bag. They're picking up as much trash as they can, So dad was teaching his daughter how to keep the environment clean.
Yeah, the environment.
They didn't have a camera. They didn't have like an event. They didn't have a bunch of people with them. He was just doing it and teaching his daughter something good.
This is yeah.
Right. So yo cuando lo miré, I was like, oh damn. So lo empecé a grabar con mi teléfono, and I was just talking like, oh, este es un señor. He's a good dad. He's teaching his daughter how to care for the planet. And then he passed by. Like, hey, thank you for doing this, man. This is so awesome. He said, yeah, man, no problem. And then we shook hands. He left. I posted the video. It went, I don't want to say viral, but maybe 20,000 views on Facebook or something like that right away. And the grandma of the little girl, the man's mom, she's like, oh, that's my son. But then I went back to that spot. I took a photo of that background. Y lo usé as a reference to paint a painting for that class. So see what I mean? Everything has to have a meaning, right? Like, entonces hice la pintura during the free online art class of that scene where you can see the man-made island, and then you see the beach, and very very short waves porque no aquí no hay big waves. Y luego the beach sand is clean, like it's like super clean, and normally it's not like that, right? Plus Long Beach, and it's not that the people in Long Beach come to throw trash. It's like the LA River's right here.
Yeah.
So all the trash from all the, there's the valley, the San Gabriel River, se viene para acá todo. All the cities, like,
Terrible.
People, they throw trash in the street y se viene para acá. Anyway, so la hice el clean. And I painted that in honor of them. So it was meant to be, like I made, that's one that painting means a lot, because here's a scene, there's, you look at it, you don't know what's going on.
Yeah, it's like you said, it's not just the landscape, no más el landscape.
Pero no los pinté a ellos, a las personas, pinté nomás el background y el front, so está como foreground, middle ground, background, y luego está el horizon line. It's like a landscape, right? Entonces, tiene the elements of drawing and painting, which is, the horizon line, the foreground, background, and so forth. Pero la arena la hice clean, hasta parece como si fuera pintado and I exaggerated on the cleanliness, to honor that, the father and
the
daughter
effort that we're putting in.
And that's what that painting means, so and the good thing is that the video's there. There's the two videos. There's the video of me recording the family, cleaning, and then there's a video of me painting the painting, and now you can see the painting. So it's como okay, and that makes me feel good. Like, si lo vendo o no, like it doesn't matter. Like it's just
there's deeper meaning to it.
Because I noticed that I started painting some paintings that I didn't finish. Like a short story, I painted for the pirate theme. Empecé a pintar un pirata con el Queen Mary, con una capo de piratas, and I didn't finish. I was like, man, why am I painting this? I didn't, I just told myself like, what's the significance here? Like, and como que la abandoné, Entonces, what I noticed is when the COVID hit and I was doing the free online art classes, I finished those paintings. And those paintings, like, because there was a bigger purpose, right? And as far as making art, like, that's how I feel, like, personally. If it's not going to make an impact, like, and it's taken me a while to realize this, but, it doesn't mean that anybody, everybody can paint their own. We all get inspired differently,
Yeah.
Entonces, that's kind of where I'm at. Like as far as my personal art, here's another story, right? So on the Stala Gallery, the Cultural Alliance of Long Beach, on Pine Avenue and 7th Street, there's a little walkway, like a little callejon type of thing. And used to have, it has murals, but some of those murals are the wheat paste. They're like large scale.
Yeah.
And those are temporary. Like the rain comes down, and, over the years, and they didn't get maintained, so se empezaron a caer. And then it starts to look crappy, and then the graffiti, not, like the tigers pretty much, like empiezan a rayar y luego llegan los homeless y empieza to attract like like more of a bad vibe. So I told my daughter like, hey, let's paint a mural there, and I got permission from the owners, right? So like, it just didn't get funding. I was like, we'll do it on our own, doesn't matter, we just want to contribute, y ni lo grabamos ni nada, nomás we just we painted. We're like, okay, we want something positive, right? And then so hicimos. You ever heard of the story, the Dr. Seuss, the Lorax?
Oh yeah.
All right, so we didn't paint the Lorax, but we painted a background of like como hills in the trifila trees. Y el idea is de que, because the quote there is like, unless someone like you cares an awful lot, nothing's gonna get better. So that means that if you don't, like, you can complain, you can see things, but if you jump in and start doing something, at least like you did something, right? And like things could change eventually, and if no, it may not change right away, but at least you're planting that seed.
Every little crumb counts.
Y lo pintamos, están las fotos en my Instagram, at Art Music and Culture, todo pegado así, y también a Cultural Alliance in Long Beach, que se llama CALB Arts, todo junto. You can check it out. Ahí están.
They find all the photos.
Yeah, ahí están las fotos. No hay video, pero están las fotos. Y luego, the crazy thing is, I live on the next door building, so like, I when I first moved there, I can actually see the mural downstairs, and I see people come and take photos. They're like, oh, this is cool, the Lorax. The kids, there's a school there, so they cut through, and they check out the murals. So so that, even though, like, yeah, it's Dr. Seuss, it's not my original creation per se, pero what I would like is la quote que dice, porque en vez de mirarlo, oh, está lleno de graffiti, y luego la city will buff it out, but now it's a blank canvas for the next.
Yeah, they just keep doing it.
Yeah, because that's that's the nature of the tagging. Es lo que hacen. The gangs are tagging and so forth. Entonces le dije a mi hija, vamos a hacer un mural, and we did it. We did it, and people respect it. Like it hasn't been like tagged over or anything.
Great. No,
they like it. They take photos, and some people, they start looking. Oh, let's keep looking. Maybe we'll find the Lorax. And I told my daughter, hey, we gotta paint the Lorax somewhere in here, because it's kind of like a little finding things, like a little. But anyways, that's a good example of like, we. I had some paint left over. Oh man, this is another thing I ¿te acuerdas de? Okay, so this is kind of linked to that. ¿Te acuerdas que George Floyd?
Right.
Okay, and George Floyd got killed, right, by a cop, and there were a lot of riots, a lot of protests, right, and then one thing leads to the other, y luego hubo riots in Long Beach.
Yeah. Oh, in Long Beach.
In Long Beach hubo riots, all through downtown, all a lot of the. So one of the things that a lot of us in the community did is we're like, okay, how are we gonna come out of this? And that's one of the things I like about Long Beach, that cuando se unen, it's like a force, Right. Entonces, the idea was that, okay, the next day we're all gonna show up with brooms and trash bags, and we're gonna clean it up. We're gonna clean it up. And I went to our building, the gallery, porque I want to see, if it didn't get vandalized and things like that. Y miré al dueño, and he tells me, hey, I told him, hey, whatever you need, and he calls me later on. He's like, hey, you know what? Vamos a hacer unos murals. Dijo, help me organize this. Dijo, you're the curator, they didn't want a lot of the credit, but I'm still mentioning it. Like, dijo, compraba toda la pintura, les dio un small stipend, some of the artists, and I managed to organize 21 murals on boarded storefronts.
Wow.
And the idea was to give the owners a message of peace, hope, and prosperity, after going through. And not all the businesses got broken into, but some of them did, unfortunately. And there was a lot of boarded up storefronts. Y pintamos, yo solo y mi hija pintamos 8 murales.
Wow.
Y but they're like the boarded up ones, and some of them they got collected by the Arts Council. I think se los llevaron. I don't know where they have them. Pero we did that more like for the passion, and shout out, to this person que compró la pintura. So I was just calling people like, hey, you want to paint? I got all the material, and we painted everything from like Black Lives Matter, a lot of the things going on, as well as like other positive messages, así como things about nature, like flowers, just like beautiful images, like hearts, little.
No más negative, tanto que ha pasado.
Exactly, and that's one of the things that happened. That I'm so proud that I was able to be part of that. Y luego we link back to the free online art classes, right?
Yeah.
So this now my time is getting focused on the murals, and I'm like, ¿cuándo va a hacer las clases? Right? So then I'm like, okay, let me just integrate the two. So there's a spot, Long Beach Boulevard and 10th Street in Long Beach. Está next to Caravana Furniture, right? So shout out to them because they hooked me up with with getting permission from the owner para pintar ahí. Entonces lo que hicimos, le dije a mi hija, le dije, oh, you're gonna help me with this. Le dije, we're gonna do a mural. Dije, but we're gonna use we're gonna do a mural. Lo vamos a grabar live.
Yeah.
The whole process, so people can see one way. There's many ways to do murals, right? Uno es freehand, otro es un projector, otro es el grid technique.
Great technique, yeah.
Como lo que hace,
Grande, yeah.
you know, entonces le dije, mira, aquí tengo mi drawing y luego le puse los cuadritos and I show, here's the cuadritos, and then los hice, compré el chalk line, ese que le haces así,
Sí, yeah.
construction line,
Yeah, construction,
you know,
yeah.
lo hice y and it took forever, you know, and then one guy from the community came out and volunteered and he's like, hey, you know, and he was into art, so it was kind of helpful, que me ayudó a colorear, you know, mainly, and that one took us like 2 weeks to make. Yo hice unos aztecas, así, no aztecas,
Sí.
perdón,
Yeah,
como
yeah.
unos mundos, and like there's like black figures dancing over the globe, así
Yeah.
como, y luego la luna. So it's more like, se llamaba el universo. So basically, you know, the heavens, la luna, you know, the heavenly bodies como la luna, you know, the stars, things like that, and the earth and the people, right? We're all part of one, you know, somos uno.
Sí.
Entonces it was kind of like, it was nice. Y luego tengo un close-up del sol que lo hice como inspired by like the Aztec design.
Yeah.
Very colorful. Anyways, got carried away with that.
No, it's all good, man. I'm just here listening. The audience is listening. Thank you for all these stories. You know, I'm just great being here, catching up with you.
Pero eso estuvo in my experience. I'm so proud of that porque we were able to document it and people can actually follow along. And even if they don't do the mural but they ever want to do a mural, they're like, oh, you know what? I can do this technique and do it myself. So that was the whole idea, you know, like we're doing this mural and people at home can watch and actually do their own. They do a drawing and copy it, you know, grid it and do a paint by numbers, you know. So things got integrated, you know, and, you know, so going back to like, when I was thinking, oh man, I haven't done art. I have been doing art. It's just like a different, como diferente, you know what I mean? Like it's not like your traditional, oh, va a ser una canvas, va a ser un body of work, y lo voy a enseñar en mi solo show, you know? You know, I think it's been a little different for me in that sense that que was more like, si el arte ya tiene un impacto, it's like, count me in, like I don't care, you know, for me that's like, that's been like, you know, so I've been creating art, pero con una misión behind it, and not necessarily like anything like politics or not necessarily anything like, you know, a certain, you know, it's just more like si podemos traer algo positive, you know, teaching art, positive messages, that's the whole thing, you know, like si podemos tener un impacto, then the whole thing is worth it, you know. So yes, you know, so that's you know, and I say murals because they are on a boarded up front door, pero you know, and some people are like, oh no, you know, like las personas quieren que les paguen por un mural, y está bien because, you know, we all gotta survive, you know.
There's opportunity, why not?
You know, and this one was done, and I gotta say, I wasn't the only one behind this whole Long Beach, you know, after the George Floyd riots, murals. There were other organizations. Shout out to them. There's so many people doing on their own. Unos, they just started painting. In fact, there was this one artist lady. She started painting on one of my walls. I was like, oh, ya lo vamos a hacer. You know, I was like, I appreciate you, but we actually have a class we're gonna teach. You know, she's like, oh, okay, no worries. You know, entonces, it was just like the outpour of love. It was more than, you know, and that was a great experience. You know, porque los owners de los lugares, they gave us a chance. Somebody sponsor us with the paint, and then we just wanted to do it like for the passion. So yeah, that was after the you know, after the riots, and but it's all linked together, right? The art classes, the music classes, and then the parking lot and the lugares nos dejaron hacer eventos outdoor, so we're able to do like at least a couple of outdoor events, art and music events. So everything is connected, you know.
It's
like,
all been a journey.
Yeah, y todo se puede conectar, you know, like and at the end of the day, you haces las cuentas and you're like, oh man, I invested my time in this and this, and it's all good, you know, porque es pasión, you know, es pasión, and you know, and that's where I'm coming from, you know, like I'm probably gonna keep doing this till.
Well, thank you, man. Thank you for everything you've been doing for Long Beach, for artists, for advocating. You know, it's been, like I said, I've known you for a few years now, and I've seen you as a person that's like, wow, like, how do I do what he does? You know, like, how do I keep more community? How do I get involved in the art? And again, a lot of it is passion. You know, not
Yeah.
all of it is gonna be like, yeah, you're gonna get paid to do this, you're gonna pay that.
Well, you're already doing it porque in your own way, right? Like you have
Yeah.
this you know
podcast.
the podcast, you know, it highlights people and it tells their story because a lot of times we don't get to tell our stories, you know, is that we don't, and that's unfortunate, you know, porque a lot of us have inspirational stories, you know, like you have your own story, you know, you have your own struggles and your own, you know, inspiraciones, your own achievements, and you know, connecting the arts and real life. I mean, we go back to you and your partners del Bis Café nos ayudaban,
Back then,
right?
yeah,
So
yeah.
you know, doing fundraising for a group home in Mexico. For like about 7 years, you know.
Oh yeah.
Entonces, you know, the art can bring you together for greater causes, you know, para hacer charity, para traer un mensaje, and you know, just gotta find inspiration, and that's the key thing, you know, find inspiration, find passion, and pursue it because if you know we're only here once in this planet, right? And what better way to wake up every day and like, you know what, whatever I do today is geared towards doing what I love, you know.
That's awesome.
Entonces así es la cosa, you know.
Yeah. And thank you for sharing all your stories with us today. Hopefully we get to come back here. We love this space. We love this. Like,
En el summer, ¿verdad?
Yeah,
Porque no haga tanto viento.
and we can chat it up again. It's been, you know, like I said, it's been at least 8 years the last time we spoke, sat down on camera.
Oh wow, was that 8 years ago?
Yeah.
Wow.
And we got the chance to do it today again. Appreciate it. We got Hoken in the back. He's doing the camera work. And yeah, I mean, our episode for this time, unfortunately, now, you know, we're done for the day.
Oh man, no, just kidding.
No, and obviously we're gonna have like more. We're gonna add more to it.
Yeah.
'Cause we definitely want to keep hearing from more of your work, more of your background.
Cuando quieran venir, let me know. You know, this is just like one area.
Yeah.
You know, like, pero podemos hacer something anywhere else, like different areas. You know, so keep me posted what you're doing. You know, I appreciate you and you know, staying engaged with the arts and promoting the arts, because at the end of the day, this is you know, what you're doing is highlighting the arts and what they do. So you know, as honorable. You know, I respect
thank
that. You know,
Thank you.
Gracias.
No, thank you. Thank you again for advocating. Thank you for putting all that positive messages and work out there. And
Gracias.
we'll see the audience. Any shout outs before?
Yeah. Shout out to all the artists, all my artist friends, my family, and you know, everyone that's doing something positive. You know, in life. You know, just keep up the good energy. Stay strong.
Alrighty, y'all. Thank you for watching this new episode of the Eskwilax Hour, season 16. And we'll be back with a new episode in a few weeks. Stay tuned.